Welcome to the Clan MacKenzie podcast.
To be honest, there's no sort of official line, unlike heraldry, where there is actually a legal basis of who can and who can't wear, who can't display a coat of arms in Scotland. It's actually legally up to the Lord Lion King of Arms, and that is enshrined in law in a way that it isn't in England, for example, or the rest of the world. With badges, it's more just a sort of convention, and they tend to be, really, to be honest, it's a commercial thing of souvenir shops, to be honest, selling badges. And it's, in my opinion, it's really just a matter of choice which badge you can wear. That there tend to be two. One is with the stag's head, which is based on the McKenzie coat of arms, and that tends to go with the motto Gwyddich an Rai, which is sort of tied to the old legend of Colin Fitzgerald rescuing the king from a stag, which, in my opinion, is apocryphal. And I think there's actually quite a lot of evidence to show that the Mackenzies are descended from the Fitzgeralds, which is the 17th century clan tradition, although that was dismissed quite well in the 19th century. And I agree with the argument that the Mackenzies are descended in a direct male line from an old Gaelic Irish Scottish ancestor, effectively from the royal Scottish line. But that's not to say that they weren't also descended from the Fitzgeralds. And I think there's every reason to believe that the tradition that they were is perfectly genuine. And my brother and I put together what I think is quite a strong argument that there is genuine evidence of a Irish Norman Fitzgerald descent. And I think personally that's where the stag's head comes from, because there's a lot of evidence that the stag, if you look at the number of stag's heads on coats of arms in the 13th century, they've got nothing to do with the legend of rescuing the king from the stag. They're tied to the legend of St. Eustace and the family ties with the, without wishing to point at great length, with the Cummin family and the identity of St. Eustace, who had a vision of a stag. And I think there's strong evidence that that's where the stag comes from. So it's a bit controversial, and other people will argue with us on the issue. But I'm convinced that's where the stag's head comes from. The other badge, which is a mountain in flames, that's a lot more straightforward. That's actually the Seaforth family, because that came into the Seaforth coat of arms at the beginning of the 17th century, because they acquired the island of Lewis through a MacLeod heiress. The mountain in flames was originally the MacLeod coat of arms, and their motto, Lucio non euro, I shine, I do not burn, they inherited from the MacLeods when they inherited the Isle of Lewis, and they added a crest to their coat of arms then. So that's pretty straightforward. I think that's sort of, that badge really is more associated with the Seaforths.
The Clan MacKenzie podcast is produced by Jared Smart and in association with the Clan MacKenzie Society of Scotland and the UK.